What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on, homie?
Oh, my,
Yo,
my bad. I was in the champagne. My fault.
I'm about to say, let's talk about that champagne right quick that you sipping on. This special concoction. I ain't gonna let you get away with that because it's a fancy drink.
Hey, nah, man. Shout out to Moms, man. She made champagne and what was it, lavender. It's my first time drinking it. I ain't know like
Yo,
it's a
Boy,
thing
you
though.
live a fancy life.
on a Tuesday night. I love it.
Hey, hey,
I ain't even
man.
mad at it. I wish we all could
Hey,
just
look.
have a little,
Hey,
a
look. I
little
don't
fruit.
try. Hey, look. That's a beat. I don't charge the rent.
Welcome to One of Those, the show that explores the art of sneaker culture. I'm your host, Adam Butler, back with another episode. Thank you so kindly for being here. My guys, R Moneybags, and my boy Carter are going to be joining me. They're from the Soul Tales podcast, one of the dopest sneaker podcasts, and just great minds when it comes to sneaker culture. They're going to be joining me in a moment. But before that, as I mentioned before, moving studio space, a lot of changes coming up. Okay. So this will be the last show of November. Okay. We'll be back in December. All right. Now, what you can do is continue to check out the page, subscribe to the page. Shout out to everybody that's been subscribing to the channel. All of that, man. We're growing slowly but surely. And I appreciate you. Right. So subscribe to the channel, cut on your notification bells, do all of that. All right. So, like I said before, my boys from the Soul Tales podcast is in the building. We talked about a lot. I really enjoyed having them on the show. These dudes are so smart when it comes to sneaker culture and just the insides of the sneaker business. I don't get into the ins and outs of the sneaker business too much on the show, but I really wanted to talk about it this week because there's changes happening with Nike. Some negative, some positive, okay? But we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about Nike and how it's been the anchor of sneaker culture and where we go from here if Nike isn't at the tippy top. All right. So without further ado, let's get to the fellas. Let's jump right into the conversation. Man, thank you for joining me, fellas. Man, it's good to have some sneaker experts on. It's good to be able to get a little topical on this show. And really, what we wanted to talk about today is, Nike has always been the king of the hill. Like, it's Nike, right? A lot of people that listen to this show are not gigantic sneakerheads. They kind of people that just kind of interested in what's going on in sneaker culture. And I had a couple of messages when I showed off my Asics, a couple of weeks ago. And a lot of people was like, Asics, oh man, you know what I mean? You getting old, this, that, another. And they they're not really like into the trends in sneaker culture. So they kind of tripping off people wearing more New Balance, more Saucony, more Asics, stuff like that, right? For us, it is what it is. We wear what we want, but we know the trends. But I find that some people are kind of surprised by what's going on with Nike, with stocks, the stocks kind of dropping, CEO change, stuff like that. I want to just start off with this. Where do you all, it's a broad question, and take it where you want to take it. And whoever want to goes first is let me you just jump in. Where are we with Nike right now? Where are we with the brand Nike? What's your opinion on it?
I
Carter,
let
we can
Carter
start
go.
with
He's been very vocal with Nike lately.
There we go.
I think the innovation is lacking, and that's their biggest problem. There's nothing new that they've created
Mm.
to push the marketplace forward for them. I mean, they have their comfort shoe. The
Yeah.
Romero the Romero 5 is doing well for them, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the thing. There's nothing. Nike's biggest thing was always innovation. If it was flatnet, if it was the air bubble, air units, things like that. That's what pushed Nike ahead for us.
Yeah.
And I think they've fallen to rely on we're Nike, we're the
Yeah.
big dog. So people
Yeah.
gonna buy us either way.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part. And then to see what they're doing with some of these things that we consider grails being re-released in the next couple of years is just more of that. We're Nike. People really want these shoes, so we're making them available to the public, and we're
Yeah.
going to be able to sell them.
Yeah. You know what? Before you jump in, you said something interesting because I feel like people they're not thinking about the innovation part, which I think you're 100% right about. They're thinking about the exclusivity piece, right? So you get more people talking about the re-releases, right? Oh, you're gonna re-release Undefeated. Oh, you're gonna re-release, Galaxy. Oh no, the resellers, right? But they're not thinking about the fact that most people don't even know what those sneakers are, but they do
Yeah.
know that the cross trainer is comfortable. They do know that the Air Max is this and this, that, another, and the innovation, like you mentioned. Why do we think that's what happened? Why do you think that the innovation is gone? Is it like you
Oh,
mentioned? Is it yeah, go for it. Let me know.
oh
What what
nah,
what, what happened there?
they got lazy, bro.
Mm,
They got
mm,
lazy. Like you said, like Carter said, they lived off the name. And like now
yeah.
let's be honest, it's almost like a nostalgic brand now. If you want to be
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
Or
saying? It's nothing innovative about it lately, but we just
Hmm.
go back for like the stuff that we actually want that we didn't get like a long time ago, maybe.
Right.
But other than that,
Right.
man, it doesn't like Carter said something a while ago. I agreed with him in the group chat. He was like,
Hmm.
"Yo, nothing moves me anymore," and that's what it is for me too. Like it don't move me. Like unless
Yeah.
it's like a nostalgia thing. When oh damn, I had that feeling. Like, oh, I had this one. I wanted that when I was a kid or something like that. But
Right.
other than that, it's nothing that I see from Nike like new to be like, oh, I
Yeah.
need that.
Yeah. But is that the case? And maybe I'm giving Nike a little bit too much grace here, and it's possible. I'm sure I am. Right? Sneaker culture had like this bubble to 2021, 2020. We all know it. Last Dance, Jordan 1s were going out. It's like this thing that we did turned into like the popular thing, right? Where everyone was a sneakerhead and everyone was a reseller. Sneakerheads in movies, all of a sudden, every TV character, I'm a sneakerhead, this, that, and another. And then, like most things that get like crazy popular, they fall off, right? So,
Yeah,
I'd be curious to see what sneaker sales are across the board, right? Like the New Balance thing kind of trended off. Everybody wanted to be, New Balance, to kind of like dad shoe look or what have you. I guess what I'm trying to say is it just Nike that's losing the innovation, or is it sneakers across the board because they didn't really have to be innovative because it was just popular to buy sneakers?
yeah, I can see that. I can see that. One of my beefs is the collab.
Mm,
It's too many collabs, and that's where they kind of build hype around sneakers by doing
mm,
collabs.
yeah.
All brands rely too much on collabs. The one thing that I like about the other brands, like New Balance,
Hmm.
they've always been quality sneakers.
Yeah.
Even before the hype, like the materials that they use in the sneakers have always been top notch quality.
Yeah.
That's why if especially being from this area, we know that the
Hmm.
2002s
Yeah.
or the 1500s are always $200 sneakers.
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, they were $200
yeah. That
sneakers
just used to flip
Right.
me out when I was a kid. Like, I was like, yo, New Balance $200. Like, they was more than Jordans.
And I was
because they,
explaining to somebody on this show, oh man, I want to say it was Schooler, that like that was the reason why New Balance was popular in DC, like in the 80s, because it was the dope dealer shoe, because it was the expensive shoe. They really
correct.
Yeah,
cared about how it looked. It just was like, this what the white dude jogging down the street is wearing. It's expensive. I want it because I can afford it. So you're right. Like it's yeah.
And it was also comfortable. So
Yeah.
if I'm standing outside doing whatever I'm doing
Right.
all night, I got a
Right.
comfortable shoe on my foot. It's expensive. It
Yeah.
look good. But yeah, I just think that Nike, a thing that E just said, it has become to me, you know how musicians become legacy acts,
Mm.
yeah,
where it's no
Yeah.
longer about putting out new music. It's just go ahead and tour the stuff that we love. That's
Yeah.
what
yeah.
Nike has become to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really wild to think, like that Nike, which is like long as I've been alive, Nike has just been a staple, right?
Yeah.
That now we looking at it as like a legacy act or a novelty act, and people that are like in our age bracket, we really just partially keeping it alive because the sneakerhead is a small portion of Nike's sales. I mean, let's just
Yeah.
keep it
Oh,
Nike.
You
Yeah,
know
he
what?
says this all the time.
They don't
yeah,
even care about us.
yeah,
They
yeah.
don't even care. I
Right.
learned this when I worked at Nike. Their
Mm,
main focus is the running stuff,
yeah,
and that's it.
If
yeah. Which
you
brings me
notice they always come out with new running stuff.
right, and also brings me to something that I think is missing, though they've attempted several times. Right. So my man Pharaoh, he runs marketing over at Adidas. Had him on the show. We talked about the AE1, right?
Mhm.
and the
They
hype
killing them.
around the AE1, and it was killing, right? And it's an affordable sneaker. It's like what sneakers have always been, which is like I could go into the store and buy one. I don't have to like hope I hit a lottery and this, that, and another. Like you can go buy an AE1, and yet it's still popular because there's an athlete associated with it.
Yo,
And when we were
hey,
coming up, go ahead.
I'm
Yeah,
kind of feeling where you going with it, cause yo, think
yeah,
about it, yo. Remember this basketball season about to start, right? Remember all
yeah,
the dope ass Nike commercials from the sneakers, whatever. We had a Jordan commercial,
yeah,
whatever, all that, yo.
yeah. Little
Them dresses
Penny.
iconic.
Yeah, yeah. When you associate, like you said, even like runners, you're associating with an event, you're associating with a school, you're associating with a tennis star, what have you, right? Like, mind you, the average Joe that just wants a comfortable shoe, which is going to bring me to something I want to bring up later. The average Joe that just wants a comfortable shoe may not be buying it because Pete Sampras wore it or Andre Agassi or Michael Jordan for that matter, right? But the kids, because like you said, we gonna buy them because we getting stuff we always wanted. We grown men with jobs. We want to do what we want to do, right? But the kids, like my son does not come up to me and say, "Hey, I want the new so and so." He asked for some. He asked his mom for some phone posits recently, which I thought was super cool. But I've yet to hear him say, "I want the so and so's or the so and so's." You know what I mean? Even though he's a big soccer guy, there isn't even like a footballer that he goes, "Yo, I want the so and so's." You know what I mean? It's just interesting that like the Nike in particular is having a hard time associating themselves with an athlete and getting a signature athlete to push, especially like their basketball stuff. Not for a lack of trying though.
I
Yeah,
think
I think
they had Ja that Ja Morant train fell off quick with that all the
Yeah,
off court shit. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't know, man. LeBron is LeBron, but LeBron never really sold sneakers past like 7 or 8.
right, right.
And
Same with
he,
KD.
yeah,
Yeah,
KD too.
yeah. They had that basketball run, Cardo. You can speak to this. You worked in the you worked with the brand. They had that basketball run in the 2010s, the Kobe's, the Durant's, the LeBron's, that was kind of like even the Kyrie, right? Like that was
Mm-hmm.
like a resurgence, right? In fact, Kyrie is like the last signature basketball shoe Nike that I remember my son having. Like the Kyries were really cool. The SpongeBob
correct.
joints and all of that.
Yep, yep.
All each
Throw
one of
Paul
these
George in there too. Paul PG had
Paul
a couple,
George,
sleeper joints too.
yeah, Paul George for sure. Paul George, I'll give you that for sure. And each one of those athletes, you could give a reason why it stopped. Some of them just got old and phased out. They just aren't the young guy anymore. Kyrie, John Morant, we know what happened there, right? Do you think that they can recapture that magic? Is a two-parter. Do you think they can recapture that magic, or do you even think that's the route that they should go, trying to find the next great star and saying, "Hey, this is your shoe, go for it"?
I think they can. I think the problem is, I've listened to you all talk about this. They've changed their marketing tactics.
Okay.
Like you said earlier, the little penny commercial. We don't really see commercials no more. Their
Mm,
marketing now is let's seed these out to celebrities and they put them
mm,
on their social media accounts.
yeah.
AKA
And
Travis
that's how
Scott.
you build, and that's how you
Yep.
build, a hype for the shoe. Whereas,
Yeah.
They
like when we were young, Michael Jordan might have debuted a new shoe, and then during the commercial break of the game, it may
Yeah.
have been a Jordan commercial
That's
that
Yep.
real.
showed
Yeah.
you the shoe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I wanted, my first thought was to say, well, is that possible in 2024? But then I look at what Ant did with the AE1. It was
The
a
same.
commercial.
Yo,
Bang,
that was an
told you.
old
Yep.
school Nike joint. That was an old
Yeah.
school Nike campaign, yo.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Like, wow, yeah. So there's been, for people that again listen to the show that are not like inside baseball, you should know that there's been a lot of turnover at Nike. New CEO, a lot of designers coming back. I imagine it's a lot of marketing people coming back as well. If they're hiring bringing the designers back, then that tells me that they're probably bringing the least the less popular people, which are the marketing people, and some of that behind. Do you think
Yeah.
that might be the case?
I was saying
I
the other
don't
day,
think so. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Go ahead. E.
Oh no, no,
Hey.
but yo, that was another thing that they did too. They got
Mm.
cocky when it came to designers. They got rid of good, I
Mm.
mean, crazy good designers, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. And also lost contracts with even like not just like the designer, you know, you could these two dudes are designers, but like the non-athlete signature designer faces behind their brand. One of them passed away, obviously, which is, you know, Virgil. Can't do
Yeah.
nothing about that. But losing Jerry Lorenzo and losing Kanye at the time, you saw what he ended up doing with Adidas and basically being their entire brand until he burned himself down, you know what I'm saying, later on. But
Yeah.
even like Jerry Lorenzo and the Fear of God stuff, you know, that was working for Nike. You know what I mean? I think it works better with Nike because it looks more like a Nike aesthetic to me than an Adidas aesthetic, you know? So
Yeah.
Right.
you're right, you know, not holding on to the talent that they did have, you know, not being able to be forward thinking and going like, okay, you know, these two Yeezys, they work. Why don't we let him design a couple of them? I mean, why not? You know, instead of fighting them on that and having them go to your competitor and
Well,
give them life.
I think that goes back to we Nike.
Yep.
Mm,
Nobody's bigger than the brand.
Yep.
mm-hmm,
Nobody's bigger than the brand.
mm-hmm.
So either fall in line with what you know what we're doing, what the contract is, we got you under, or you can
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
But do
yeah.
you think about
E,
that?
let me ask you. Oh, go ahead,
I'm
bro.
gonna say,
Go ahead. E.
but think about this, yo. Just in like corporate America, period.
Mhm.
Yo, once you start lacking in diversity, that's when you lack in
Mm,
innovation. It happens.
mm, mm.
So I'm thinking that's what's happening over there too. They got these same old people over there, or up top though. It ain't the people at the bottom or in the mid level. It's the
Yeah,
people up top, the same old people.
yeah,
And I think that's what's happening over there too.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Carter.
Some, you know, like I saw the news that they're bringing back Frank Hooker,
Right.
and he's done some amazing things, you know, with the Jordan brand and everything. But even his style of, you know, the marketing around those shoes is connected to this a celeb. So
Mm,
it's not going to get back to the commercials. You know,
Yeah.
mm.
the Nigel Sylvesters, the J Balvin's,
Yeah,
all shoes that he's done in the past.
yeah,
That's just going to celebrities, and you're looking at this celebrity got 6 million followers on
yeah,
Instagram.
yeah.
Let's just send a couple payout, and they'll post a good picture of it, and that's how we're gonna build the hype.
So I was going to ask this later, but you brought me right to it. So we know that we mentioned earlier that, you know, sneakerheads are not like the, you know, the major contributor to Nike's success, right? It's getting your hands on the sneaker and running stuff like that, comfortability, innovation, running, all of that, right? I'm still in this from the Sneak This podcast. Shouts to Greg from the Sneak This podcast. I'm still in this idea because it's something he mentioned. If you bring yourself down a notch and go, Nike is for everybody. Let's not focus on exclusivity. Let's focus on getting the brand to people. Do you think it would make sense for Nike to put themselves in Target and Walmart and other places like that that they aren't currently in? I'm not sure if they aren't in Walmart. I won't speak there, but I know they aren't like in Target, right? Do you think it makes sense for them to kind of change their business strategy and go like, yo, let's get to where the people are shopping instead of taking away stores, which is, you know,
What?
and again, you know, just to explain, and I got you. Yeah, I just want to explain
Oh
to the
yeah.
audience real quick that they took themselves off of brick and mortar retailers for a while and wanted to go exclusive. That's why I keep saying exclusivity for the people that are listening. Like, why does he keep saying that? They wanted you to use the sneakers app. They wanted you to shop on the Nike website as opposed to going to Foot Locker, as opposed to going to Champs and just buying the sneaker, right?
Right.
Now, now you
No,
understand where I'm going. Like,
yeah, that's what I was
yeah,
about to say. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So what do you
Now,
think? Do you think that that is like a move that they should probably make?
I feel like they should go back to that, even though, because yo, think about this. Like, although I don't go to the mall like that,
Right.
but it's still something where you just go into the mall, you see something that you want. It's still
Yeah.
something to that.
Yeah.
And people, you might not put as much as stock into it, but you still had to put something in there. Yo, they didn't put they didn't had no drops at like no good drops at Foot Lockers, no good drops at like what was the other joints? Like JD Sports was
Snipes
Finish
and
Line or
Champ.
whatever. Snipes, all
Yeah.
that. Yo, very seldom did you get like a lot of good releases at these places though.
Yeah.
So they should go back, let everybody get it. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, Carnival. I mean, I'm just saying, like, again, I'm not their business strategist. You know what I mean? Maybe there's some type of reason why they don't distribute through Target and places like that. Maybe it's above my pay grade. You know what I mean? But just the idea of saying, like, okay, we tried one thing, we tried to make these things exclusive, and you can only buy them through our apps. That didn't work. Doesn't it make sense to go, okay, well, let's make sure that the sneakers get to people, that the apparel gets to people, so we can get ourselves back to that Nike status that we've been for 30 plus years.
I don't think it'll make sense, but I don't think it'll go to that. Number one, the mall thing, like Foot Locker, like if we've been honest, the mall is dead.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
to me, when you see a Nordstrom close down,
Target isn't though.
when you see a Nordstrom close down, it's like, oh
True.
yeah,
Yeah.
no one's shopping in the mall.
Right.
I think the reason they don't do like the Targets and the Walmarts is
Mhm.
because they have no control of the aesthetics of how the shoes are going to be
Mm.
presented.
That's a
Yeah.
good
If we
point.
being honest, like
That's a good point.
I live close to a Target. If you
Yeah.
go in their shoe section, it's stuff thrown all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good
Nike
point.
Nike don't
Yeah.
want that. Nike don't want
Nah.
that.
And
They
and
Yeah.
it's
then
important to them how their
Yeah.
product is presented.
That's
right.
important. That's
And
a
then
good
you
point.
gotta think about this too. It's a mind trick for us too. Because if we look
Yeah.
at it like, oh, that's joining Target now. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See, and so it's a conundrum, right? Because
Yeah.
on one hand, exclusivity does not work.
Correct.
Sneakerheads sometimes get excited by the exclusivity. Oh, I've got something you don't. Oh, I have this, it appreciates for this amount of money. I can resell it or I can look at it as a museum piece. Sneakerheads get off on exclusivity. But when you're that kid that's trying to say they get the next signature athlete, which is something I want to bring up in a moment too. Let's say they get the next signature athlete, and it's, let's just say Jason Tatum's on Jordan Brand, right?
Yeah.
Let's say Jason Tatum's sneaker just takes off for whatever. That's just for the sake of conversation, right? Or the next Cooper Flag comes out, whoever the next guy is, and they got the Nike deal, and the kids love the shoe. But if they can't get their hands on it, if they can't buy it, then what is the point,
Nike
right?
It's a turn. It's a turn
don't
off,
care
yo.
about that. No, they
Like you
don't care
don't care
about that
about that. Mm,
because the whatever they if the kid can't get his hands on it, guess what that means? The shoe is sold out.
mm,
So they've
mm,
sold what they've made, and
yeah,
that's all they care about. They don't care about the stories of I can tell stories of being. I will never forget. I was late to a basketball game when the
yeah,
Obsidian 12s came out because they
mm,
matched my team's jerseys, and I went and got my shoes before the game started.
yeah,
But they don't care about stories like that.
yeah,
Nah, I remember
yeah,
same thing. I remember getting the 14s, and Jordan played like trash that game the day before too. He was horrible that game too. But I went to the Foot Locker in Clinton, got my 14s.
yeah,
It was homecoming weekend. Went to homecoming
yeah,
same day.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Like that's
yeah, yeah.
that's Nike doesn't care about that aspect of them of their shoe sales.
Mm,
We have those stories. Those are
yeah,
things that we're just going to have to live with. They don't
mm,
care about that as long as they sell their products.
mm.
And
Yeah.
if kids can't get it, then that means it's sold out.
So if Nike's knocked down a couple of pegs, and let's just say this trend continues, right? That
Hmm.
bringing back all of the designers and the new CEO and all of that, bringing him back, honestly, and, kind of trying to get back to that old thing. Let's just say this trend continues and Nike just continues to fall. Can sneaker culture survive with a weakened Nike? Will never go away, but a weakened Nike, if there's no innovation, if there's nothing new, and when we are 60, right? 65, and we didn't got the Jordan 11s, how many pairs of,
right.
Concords, you know what I'm saying? How many bread threes do I have? How many at this point when even we go, yo, I done got it a couple of times and there's
Yeah.
nothing new coming out, and you're not appealing to the youth, can sneaker culture survive without a strong Nike?
Yes, because Nike's not bringing back those CEOs and all of that for the sneakerhead culture.
Mm.
They're looking at maybe their running line, and
Mm-hmm.
that may have dropped. They're
Right.
not doing all of this for us.
Right.
Nah.
Like, I think that's what people have to realize also. They're not
Mhm.
all those moves that they're making. It ain't
Right.
for us.
Nah,
Right.
it
It's
ain't.
for, oh man, we might be down in running 20%,
Mhm.
or we might be down in cross training 30%. That's all they care
And
about because
but another reason why they don't kind of focus on us, because we can be trendy.
Mm.
That happens, yo. We go with trends and ebbs and flows. So I think that's why they don't
Yeah.
focus on us.
So they I agree with y'all 100%, bro. Because like, yeah, New Balance and Asics and them might be like chomping into our running, or Adidas may be chomping into our running division. So we need to get that together. But we also going to tease that we might re-release undefeated, fours
yeah,
for the sneakerheads to talk. We gonna give them Galaxy foams so they can,
Right. They
they
even
yeah.
can
talking
keep
about bringing the
talking.
off-white joints back. The ones, the
Yeah,
off-white ones.
They
But
don't
yeah.
I don't
have
think they're
they
gonna do
don't
it.
have prime example. In Nike running, when I used to work there, they used to have this reflective jacket that was
Mm-hmm.
$500.
Mm.
There's
Mm.
nothing in our culture from Nike that costs $500.
Yeah, not
Oh,
retail.
oh, oh,
Right.
Yeah,
oh,
retail, retail.
then we
Yeah,
were willing to
Right.
pay $500 for.
yeah,
Yeah,
retail.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah,
there's no shoe that they're
yeah.
putting out at retail that's $500. But
Right.
if I could sell 25 of these jackets
Yeah,
in a week
yeah,
at $500 a pop, oh,
yep,
that's my focus.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
y'all can come here and spend the 180 or the
mhm,
$200 on the new Jordan.
yeah,
Oh no,
yeah.
they it's like we guarantee money. It's like
Mm-hmm.
guarantee money, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We know they're gonna always get these white on whites. Them drinks gonna
yeah,
always be around. Air Force Ones,
yeah.
white, always be
You put
around.
out Chicago ones, they're gonna. It's like they have fail proofs right now. I do wonder what that looks like 10, 15 years from now, but that's also
Right.
difficult to determine because the next runner could be something we look at and go, yo, that runner is fire, and all of a sudden that's the thing we want to get for years. We just don't know.
but not
But
even just that. They
mhm,
have enough stuff that even 10 years from now, let's say 8 years from now, they release the Paris Dunk.
right,
Everyone that we know is going to go after it.
Yeah.
right,
Facts.
right. But let's just, and you're right, okay. But let's be honest, true, because I think there is a space between like hardcore sneakerhead and like average Joe that just likes to run, and everything they're buying is for the purpose of, the reflected jackets because I'm going to run at night and I need to, you know what I
Correct.
mean?
Correct.
There's a space in between that of just like normies, right? That kind of cosplay is like a sneakerhead. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. They like
But
Yeah.
I get
kind
what
of
you're
like
saying.
sneakers,
Yeah, they
I
like
get
but
they
what you're saying.
casuals.
right. And the older they get, they phase out. So we are a rarity, right? Even at like, I'm not guessing everybody's age, but we all older than 22 on this junk, right? Like,
Yeah.
so even if you
I'm
get
40. So,
I'm
right,
40,
I
I'm
got no problem.
42.
I'm
Yeah, 41.
42.
Yeah.
Okay.
41.
So
Yeah. So
so
yeah, we
we
the same,
all
right?
we in the same bracket. It's a rarity for us to be at our age and still getting older and still care as much. I think there'll be more of us because we are of this hip hop generation and all that. And so it's gonna be, but most people, as they get bigger families, they got mortgages, they got all this stuff to pay for.
Correct.
Sneakers will not be a priority for them. So you have to try to you have to get younger. I still
Yeah.
believe, and that's why I mentioned that there may be some new innovative sneaker that comes out that we just can't foresee, and that is like their Jordan 11, their Jordan 3. It's totally possible that could happen, right? And that's the one they wanna resell and re-release and blah 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 blah. But if they aren't doing that, then Paris Dunks won't matter 10, 15 years from now.
Oh, no. Oh, she's talking about for those kids. I mean,
Right.
we don't know what it will be, what
Mm-hmm.
social media, because I think social media plays a big part in sneakers now.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
like for our age, if
Yeah.
you look at Nike shoes that like kind of, and I mentioned it earlier, that combats
Yeah.
the New Balance stuff is a Romero.
Yeah.
It's so many colors coming out in that shoe. It's a
Right.
comfortable shoe.
Yeah.
Women
Right.
love it. Men
Right.
love it. So
Right.
to me, that's their That's their thing that they're doing.
Right.
And another joint I love, man. I love the Air Max 1. I don't know. For some reason, I just fell in love. I fell back in love with them joints, man. So I've been buying like different colors of them joints now, man.
That too. I mean, think about like the Air Max 90 infrared.
Yeah.
They
Oh
do
my
something
god.
different with that. Now, me personally, I'm against that. They announced that wave that Pod is doing. The wave to me that has waved out. I'm good.
Yeah.
The Air Max 1 was it. They should leave it alone. Don't put it on the Air Max 90. That's just
Nah,
my personal opinion. Um,
nah. And I,
but
I
yeah,
one of my favorite. I love the '90s too. Like I said, originally I loved the '90s, and then I just started really messing with the Air Max 1s though.
I think all brands, yes, you have to innovate. But even for like Adidas, I think Adidas shouldn't be trying to compete with Nike. That shouldn't be their goal. You have you have a lane that Nike can't get into. To me, as a 40-year-old man, when I want to dress casual and go with my wife, I may not grab a Nike. I may grab a Stan Smith
Yeah,
because
or
it's gonna
Samba.
look better. It's gonna look better with a pants and a polo
Yeah,
and things of that nature, overcoat. you know, our basketball sneakers not gonna always look good with that. Yeah, the Jordan
nah.
one
Right.
because it's sleek, but to me, I think that's where Adidas kind of dropped the ball with putting so much focus in Kanye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. With Kanye, like it was like a short kind of like burst high. Like even though it lasted for like 10 years, maybe not that long, but it lasted for some time, right?
Correct.
It was like this burst high, but they didn't really think about the fact. Now, mind you, you had at the time, you had like, Kanye adjacent sneakers, NMD, stuff like that, that basically looked like, what they were, I can't afford the Yeezy 350, but I could get an NMD, even though the MDs was crazy, selling crazy, all that. Anyway, that look that Adidas was going for, and then when that fell off, they were completely dependent on Kanye.
Yep.
Correct.
Nobody was buying anything else from Adidas unless you was like you talking about buying shell toes, buying Stan Smiths was just like, to me, that's just like regular person, right? But if you're talking about like innovation and the sneakerhead and all that, no one, it was all Yeezy, all everything. So that's why this AE1 is kind of like a lifesaver for them in a way, because now they got something that's outside of Kanye. But I agree with you that the thing that the other brands do is they set themselves apart from Nike. New Balance is not like Nike at all.
Right.
You know
And
what
they
I'm
not
saying?
trying to be.
They're not trying to be Asics. They're not like, now Asics and Saucony are not selling like New Balance, and they're definitely not selling like Nike and Adidas. You know what I mean? The other brands set themselves apart. They may not crazy innovative. I mean, New Balance has always been New Balance. Just people are just noticing that there's more silhouette than the city walkers and the, you know what I mean, like the DC
Yeah.
joints and the people that, you know
Correct.
what I mean. So they're just taking advantage of their designers and collaborating with the right people, and the collaboration really means less than how the actual sneaker looks. They're actually letting their collaborators like design dope stuff, or at least dope colorways. Go for it, bro.
You know what I like about New Balance? The
What?
shoe, not the shoe that kicked it off on a
Mm-hmm.
national level, but it wasn't even a collab. It was a regular GR release. That
Yeah,
2002 protection pack, the rain
yeah,
gray one, the
Yeah.
rain
Yeah.
yeah.
cloud gray
Yeah.
one.
I'm
That
Yeah.
looking right
wasn't
at it.
that
Yeah,
wasn't
Yeah.
attached to nobody.
Nah.
yeah.
Nothing. It was
It's
a
just a
regular
dope
It
sneaker.
was just it
correct.
was just fire though. That was it. It was just
Yeah,
a
just a
fire
good
shoe,
looking
yo.
sneaker. And it
Yeah.
was lightning in the bottle because everybody was kind of going for that kind of like cozy
Yeah,
dad look. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And it's just
yeah,
perfect. And that's how things
yeah.
work. It's like the AE1 is lightning in the bottle because the dude is going off in the playoffs. He's
Right.
super popular, for a particular
And
style of playing. Yeah.
and he sells the shoe.
Yes,
He
because he
sells
wears
it
it on the
himself.
right. Right.
His
Exactly. So
personality sells it.
so there's a lot of things going that make these things happen. I do want to ask you guys one more question before we
Shoot,
begin to wrap this
shoot,
thing
shoot.
up, man. In terms of, I do wonder, when you in sneaker Twitter, sneaker social spaces, you notice a shift and a lot more women. It's always been women in sneaker culture. I'm going to be very clear, right? But I feel like they kind of getting their just due in terms of attention. A lot of female designers, stuff like that,
Man,
right?
yo.
And Nike's been doing a good job, especially Jordan Brand up there, like, yo, let's get these women in here to design this sneaker, this, that, and another, right? But one thing I don't think they've really capitalized on properly is the rise of the WNBA. Now, Caitlin Clark has a Nike silhouette. Angel Reese has a Reebok silhouette, right? The GOAT has a Nike silhouette. But famously, there was criticism on how they sort of just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, we gave Caitlin that. Oh yeah, by the way, she got one too. It was no real hype around who was probably the greatest female basketball player since Cheryl Swoops, since Cheryl Miller even. You know what I mean? So what I'm getting at is that should there be more focus on women, and if they're going to collab with athletes, should they really be similar to what the WWE is now? I'm not even a big wrestling guy, and I noticed that the WWE has really put a lot of attention into their women's division and realizing that like there's hella popularity with promoting these women and not like sexualizing them, but just promoting them because there was like this hidden treasure trove of fans that they weren't talking to. You know what I mean? I wonder if that's something that could help Nike. And shoot, will Reebok get a boost from Angel Reese being a face of their brand?
I think she can do it, yo.
Yeah. Angel Reese?
I
Yeah.
think Angel Reese could do it because she's more. Yeah, you know what's so crazy? But I look at Angel Reese.
Mhm.
I look at her Twitter. I mean her Instagram from like 3 years ago, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yo, she been building the brand since then. Like she's been she been steadily building.
Yeah.
And she's way past basketball for real. Her mind is somewhere else.
I mean,
Yo,
she's got a podcast right now that's popular as
fashion,
hell.
all kinds. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think she can do it.
Yeah.
But Caitlin can do it on the court though.
Right. That's a great point, Carl. Before you chime in, that's such a great point. It shows you how both worlds work, right? Because Angel Reese is a great basketball player. She's going to be famous for being a basketball player. But we just said it like
her game
she
doesn't translate to that though.
There we go. We could be keeping the buck. Like she's great, but it's not like a different type of game. It's a great game. But she understands who she is, therefore she can sell.
Right.
Yeah. He's a sales
Caitlin Clark is milquetoast born as a human, but on the court, it's exciting. So Nike has to do something different than Reebok has to do. Angel Reese gonna sell them shoes or whatever clothing brand or whatever just by being out. She gonna be at the Meg Thee Stallion show on stage,
right?
And she gonna have the fit on. It's gonna work out. Caitlin Clark season over. We ain't even heard her speak again, so it's gonna have to be on the court.
Yeah, they might have to be like a little penny with her, yo.
Yes, it's going to have to be through so their marketing team is going to have to work to make sure that she and her. I don't even know what her signature sneaker looks like. And I ain't even, by the way, they got Aja Wilson, and I feel like they totally dropped the ball with that.
They did.
With the GOAT. They dropped it. I'm calling her the GOAT, by the way. They dropped the ball with that, in my opinion. How could you not, how the season she's had and she's been having, how do you not capitalize and have her out there with whatever on and being like, yo.
I'm definitely getting the MVP hoodie, though. That joint hard, though. You seen the joint? The Nike joint? That joint hard.
I ain't seen it. See, and that's the point. That's what I'm saying. I ain't seen it. I ain't seen it.
I mean, I think they're trying. Like you said, Caitlin Clark was just like lightning in the bottle. We didn't expect, I don't think anyone could predict that the popularity, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you couldn't have called this. What's the young lady with the Liberty? She has her own shoe.
Right.
Sabrina. I know something. They play. Yeah, I know something.
Yeah. So I mean, there should be a commercial for her. They're playing in the WNBA finals. She has a sneaker, but that's not Nike's thing right now. They're going through social media, and everything is social media, and that's why I think Angel Reese, to me, she'll probably outsell all of them.
Yeah.
Social
media.
Only
drawback is that it's because it's Reebok, and we all don't really look at Reebok.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I saw in the game where she had the Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
Reebok sneaker on.
Yeah.
That's perfect marketing. Your name is Reese.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. They dropped the ball not signing her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They dropped the
yeah,
ball hard not
yeah,
signing her.
yeah.
They could have had a situation where they had a
but you know why she signed Reebok though? Because
Chris
Shaq
Shaq.
was over at the LSU connection.
Yeah, and that's real. She got to do what's best for her. In the
Yeah.
dream world, Nike, and again, it's not all about Nike because you all make great points that the culture, which is the thing that's important to me. I don't really care about Nike's numbers and all these selling running shoes and all that. Like, whatever on that. I ain't got no stock, and I don't.
Hey,
Nike's not that important.
but you see what AI did with Reebok, but
Right,
it also
right.
translated on the court.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, right, exactly, man. It in a dream world, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are signed to the same brand, and you got like a kind of like, you remember them old Converse commercials with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson,
Larry
like,
Bird
you know what
Magic
I'm saying?
joint.
You got that going, and so I do hope that because I care about the culture, and this always is going to impact the culture, even if they ain't really worried about us. I do hope that all the, I want every brand. I want Reebok to be competitive in the space. You know what I mean? It's nothing. I would like it to be like, yo, them Reeboks. I need to give me a pair. Like those are like that's the fun part about the culture, and that's why it's fun to have New Balance and Asics and other brands. Even like Hoka, or I always pronounce that one wrong. You know what I'm saying? But like even these like Hoka, whatever it is.
Hoka, yeah.
Them joints comfortable too. I got the
Hoka,
joints running, bro.
right?
Yeah.
I
I run
it's
them
nice to
joints,
have
man.
other. Yeah, they're comfortable. It's nice to have
Yeah.
other brands involved. Final thoughts on this one, man. Cardo, you go first.
I just think we have to realize that what we knew, what we grew up on, is gone. It's over with. The brands aren't gonna, if they can say, "Hey, we can save $10 million and not have to produce commercials and bring in directors and actors," we're not gonna do it. Let's just send this shoe to the most
Casanat.
popular people on social media.
Yeah.
And because he got 50 million followers,
Yeah.
we only gonna produce 1 million of these shoes. So out of that 50 million followers, we can get it sold.
Yeah.
Nah, it's
And
true,
it is what
man.
it is. So we gotta enjoy what we want, what we got. I'm also to the point where I'm like, I don't really need to buy no more shoes because I just be finding myself like, damn, I ain't wore these in 2 months.
Yeah.
I ain't wore these in 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah. That's real.
So
That's sobering but real.
Yeah. I just had it, so it's crazy to talk about that, yo. So I was talking with a financial advisor, right? So we combing over all my stuff, whatever. And it came down to like I had explained like I had bought like 3 or 4 pair of shoes in a month or some shit. And she was like, "Why so many shoes?" I couldn't explain to her. Like,
can't explain it.
Yeah, I can't explain. Yeah, and like, I'm like, I need to plan for these because I know I'm gonna have to do this. She's like, "Why you need?" I was like, "Yo, but I got to plan for these. These I can't now in November. I gotta get these in November. So I got.
It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain.
So what I'm actually doing, instead of me being like some go like gun ho and like buying something like getting triggered, I started buying stocks, bro. So when I had the urge to like buy something crazy or whatever, I'm like, but I'm gonna just put this little 50 in or put 100 in this stock or something. And maybe if it's still there, maybe a month later, I might pull the stock back. But if it's not in that, my money will grow.
You know what somebody else told me that they do, and it, if you go for a shoe on sneakers and you don't get it, whatever that shoe costs, move that money to a savings account.
Yep. Oh, that's real because you was gonna spend it anyway.
You was gonna spend it anyway.
That's really clever. I like that because you was gonna spend the bread. You had the bread. You was planning on spending it anyway.
Yep. So when it's out of your checking account, it was gonna be if you got the shoe anyway.
Yep.
Right.
Either way, you got the sneaker or you saved the bread. That's word, man.
Yep.
Yeah. A friend of mine told me that, and I was.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good spot to end on, man. Fellas, anything y'all want to shout out, man? I know y'all some podcasting people, man. Y'all want to shout out anything before we get up out of here?
Oh no! Shout out to my folks, man. My man Rose, my man McCray, and Kenny K Ego Pit Stop Podcast, man. Follow us at the Pit Stop Podcast on YouTube and Instagram and all that good stuff.
Beautiful.
I'm a part of the Soul Tales crew. We do once a month.
That too.
We do once a month. Hopefully we get back this month. We kind of took the summer off. With people traveling and got things going on. So hopefully we'll be back at the end of this month. It's the last Thursday of every month. You know, it's 5 of us. We come together and we just talk sneakers.
Yeah.
Shout
And
outs to both
I'm on
pods.
that panel as well.
Yeah, I'm about to say shout outs to both pods. I had the pleasure of being a part of the podcast, and it was the Soul Tales podcast, and it was a great time. My man Paul Span. It was really, really, really dope, man. Hope to do it again, and hope to have you fellas on again.
Nah, for
I
sure,
told my
man.
man
This
Nate
was good,
Frost.
man.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Yes.
so I got something for you. I told my man Nate Frost that I'm going to do an end of the year sneaker of the year kind of like panel discussion.
Okay.
Join me. Let's do this one.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I'm in. I'm in.
We're gonna have a sneaker battles, and now we're just gonna kind of talk about what's going on throughout the year. I'm gonna get some of my favorite guests, which you all have been on that episode, and we're gonna talk about sneakers of the year. So, audience, look out for the fellas on that one, man.
All right.
Nah, man.
Hey,
Appreciate
Ricardo,
you.
appreciate y'all, man. Thank
Appreciate you, man.
All right. Fellas, appreciate you guys coming on, man. Check out the Soul Tales podcast. Check out everything they got going on. These dudes are so dope, man. I really appreciate them taking the time to join the show. All right, man. Like I said, we'll be off for the rest of November, so enjoy your Turkey Day and all of that, man. Enjoy your Turkey Day football. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your families. Take care of yourselves. And while we're off, just go ahead and catch up on all the things that's going on with one of those, man. The channel is right there. Catch up on the shows if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel. Cut on the notification bells. That helps me out a lot. All right. Follow me, MSR_Adam, MSR_Adam. I'll still be posting on there for the rest of the month. Okay. So follow me there. You know what to do. All right. Mind your mental health. Mind your mental health. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Do all of those things, man. Get outside, get some sun, get a jog on, walk on, whatever. Take care of yourselves. Mind your mental health. Mind your physical health. Take care of that temple. All right. Don't eat too much on Thanksgiving. If you do, get out there and get your jog on the next day. Do something. Take care of yourself. All right. And always remember and never forget to be great. I'm up out of here. Peace.